of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.
Okay, oh Patrick, you're getting creative. We bought him some new equipment. Now he's doing all these great intros, and I like it. I really like it. The song you just heard a little bit is from Harold Payne. He's an Emmy Award-winning songwriter, and I'll tell you how all that came about later. He wrote a 2-minute and 51-second song about one of the things that I did, and I appreciated it. Well, I'm Jeanne Robertson, and we're back on the back porch again this week. And thanks to everybody who's joined in. The whole purpose here is just to have a good time. We do not get into politics. We do not get into any controversial subjects. We don't talk about things that are live in the news that are going on. We don't care during this hour. What we're going to do is just have a good time. And I have questions in my smiley face bucket that you send in every week. And then when the week is over, they'll go down in here. Some of the questions stay because there were really great questions and they just didn't get thrown out. Everybody who has sent a question since the beginning of all this, name is then eligible for the prizes that we're going to give away during this 1 hour. So we've got lots of plans. We have some surprise people coming on, and so we're going to get started by me. I saved out a question. Tony reads the questions, reviews the questions, and we throw them in the box. But what we don't want in the box is somebody saying, how did you get into speaking? And there may be 10 people that say that, and we've answered it. This is special, though. This is from Diane Mick, who says she just lurks from Oregon. But we love lurkers. We love whether you're asking a question on today's show, which I'll get from my assistant Tony if you send something in. But you are from Oregon, and you said, my baby rehab possums and I will be watching again Saturday. So you put a picture up, I think, of a little possum swimming, and you I guess, saved a whole litter of possums. I don't know if it's a litter or not. But you do know, Diane, they're the ugliest animal on the face of the earth. In the South, if they get in the road, whoo, they're gone, just like that. But of course, to you, they're kind little creatures. However, I have a friend in speaking named Patricia Fripp from California, San Francisco. She is from England originally, and I don't do a British accent very well, but she speaks to various organizations, and she is delightful, and she's a good friend. She also, when this all started for her, she loved to buy furs. Now, things like that have changed, but she was known for wearing furs and hats, but never when she spoke. She's all business when she speaks. And I was going to be the president of the National Speakers Association. She was the president, the first woman president. She was on immediately before I became the second woman president. All of that's in material. She would, when she was being fun, wear those furs to our banquets. Just kidding. So I jokingly said sometime, I wish I had a possum fur. That's the only kind of fur I think I'd ever had. And a friend of ours, Dr. Gene Long, we were playing bridge with him. And he got a call from the hospital to come and deliver a baby. And he was OBGYN. And on his way here in Burlington, straight to the hospital, he saw a dead possum on the side of the road. He was in a hurry, so he went on to the hospital, delivered the baby, and on his way back where we were waiting to continue the card game, he got the possum and threw it in the back of his van. His wife left the next day for the beach with a bunch of women. He, at that point, put the possum inside the house, put all the formaldehyde, all the stuff you do, and skinned the possum. It was already dead. I point this out. It was dead when he found it. We don't want anybody after us here. Then he scraped that fur and put it on the back of their house while she was out of town and made me a possum fur. So I appreciate that you are helping baby possums live, but this one is a North Carolina possum fur. Bless his heart. I don't know who he was or where he came from, but every time I see Patricia Fripp and I think she might be wearing one of her big furs, I put on the possum fur and make a Southern statement for her. If you are offended by that, I'm so sorry. I really am. but I put the possum fur back down here so people won't think I've lost my ever-loving mind. So let me pull out a question or two, and then we've got some surprises for you. Here's a question. Ruth Whitten, Whitten. Do you still swim? I remember how graceful you were doing the side stroke when you taught swimming at Judson College. I did teach swimming at Judson. I taught physical education at Judson College. Side stroke. I really love to do the side stroke, and I even coached the synchronized swimming team and had never done one piece of synchronized swimming in my life. So I'm glad you remember me from Judson College. Thanks for asking a question. Your name is in the box. All right, here we go, right here. Okay, Katie Smith. Just wondering, when you realized you had a talent to make people laugh, eventually go on tours, making CDs and DVDs. I have taken several trips with senior citizens, and you are our entertainment. Bus trips, what a delight. Keep making us smile. Katie Smith. For those of you who don't know, for 12 years, I was a guest of Carl Hurley, a hilarious guy from Kentucky, a humorist. And he had a show in the afternoon for motor coach travelers. Motor coach is the politically correct word for a bus. And the people would pour in by the motor coaches, and the show was a long show. It had opening and closing sections, intermission in between, and different one other person who was a singer who could really sing and did well. And he asked me to come and be his guest. So when she says that they watched me on senior citizens trips, what she means is then the DVDs that we made would be like 2 or 3 seats apart, and people would watch those on the motor coach. My material was clean. It could be shown on any trip, and I've always been grateful for that opportunity. And then I was approached by One Nashville people, and they said, I think you could have nighttime shows and so forth. And all of this is why you're still giving speeches. So Tony Meredith has run my office for 42 years. Tony, will you come up here a minute? Don't you have a couple of announcements?
You want me to do that first?
I don't remember when we said we were going to do it.
I can do it now.
Okay. Oh, no, you want me to bring up our other guests first? Nope. Okay, here comes Tony.
Let Tony come up because I'm working on something here.
Okay, Tony. This is a well-run. Why don't I just answer another question while we decide what in the world is going to go on next? This is from Kathy Shay, S-H-A-Y. Can I still get the book with the errors? Yes. For those of you who don't know, about a month ago, my new book, Don't Bungee Jump Naked, came out. We just printed like 3,000 copies because we knew it had some errors in it. But instead of paying yet another editor to edit, we just asked y'all to find the editors. And Margaret Hyson turned out to be a librarian, and she's still sending things. But we have gotten all of the errors by now, and we have them, we think. And the new copies will be out very soon. And so you want to know if you can still get the book with errors. And that's because I was just joking around one day, and I said, actually, the book with the errors is a first edition print. It will become a collector's item. And a lot of people, that's the one they want. Kathy, there are a few of those. So order now, and Tony will get those to you. And then for those of you who are waiting for the corrected copy, it's coming. All right, Tony, you ready?
Sure.
Okay.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I want you to go first. I'm sorry.
Okay. Talking about ordering the book.
Okay.
Look that way. Okay. We have a new ordering store set up.
Because we had trouble.
Well, there was a security thing, and ours was outdated, and the newer browsers wouldn't accept it, so people were having trouble getting on. Now, you can still go to JeanneRobertson.com like you always have,
Okay.
and then click on Humor Store, and you'll be in the new Humor Store. I just noticed just a minute ago that Linda Krim, our wonderful friend from Springfield,
That sent us the
Missouri,
big letters.
did the letters last week, has already put up how to find the new Humor Store.
Thank you, Linda.
So we thank
Appreciate that.
And now Patrick has stuck it up on the screen. What you need to go to, I have been told, is the long website for the Humor Store is http:// / and then store JeanneRobertson.com. You can probably.
Well, did everybody get that?
Wait a minute. You probably, there it is. Patrick's got enough right. If you do it that way, then once you've done it, it'll always send you to the right.
I put too many T's in.
Oh gosh.
Two T's. HTTP.
And that's the book.
Okay.
It's all correct.
So you don't have to go to JeanneRobertson.com to get to this site.
But that's an easy way.
Well, that's an easy, if they want to go to the website, but if they don't, then they don't have to do it that way. They can just do this. This is a website all its own.
Okay.
And you just go to that, and we hope it's more user friendly. If you order online, you will be able to choose and pay by PayPal or any of the 4 major credit cards. Before, we only had Visa and MasterCard. If you're doing it through this store, you can use American Express or Discover or Visa or MasterCard or PayPal. So that hopefully will be
You've been busy
for everybody. Now, this affected our international orders.
Okay.
Because right now on the new website, we don't take international orders. There's no way to do that because we provide shipping within the U.S., so that confuses things. If you would like to order from Canada or Australia or England or anywhere else in the world, you need to, there's a link on this store to click on here and print out an order blank, mail it in to us with your credit card information, or, look there, I'm sorry, or, too many things in this room, or you can call me. If you want to call, there's a number to call, and I'll be glad to take your information. And we're happy to send to you. We do charge you your shipping back because we don't provide shipping internationally. But we do, I think it will, hopefully this will work. If you choose to mail in an order or send me or call me and give me your order that way, then in that case, you can still only use Visa and MasterCard or send a check.
Gee, Manetti.
I know it's confusing,
I know it.
but
it's all secure.
It's all secure, and because our original way of taking credit cards has not been changed yet. So until we take care of that, we can only still take Visa and MasterCard.
Okay.
But if you order on this online, and it's very friendly when you get there, I hope you can, there's no questions. The book's there, all 9 DVDs, all 9 CDs, and the specials that we have are there, and you can order those and use any credit card and all that, and we'll get them out really quickly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did y'all get all that? Okay, now
Probably
you're very, or just pick up the phone and call and say, Tony, send me the book.
Yeah,
That's
call
it.
or a DVD or whatever you might want.
And people are really enjoying it and saying nice things, and I appreciate it so much.
It must be a good book. I'll have to read it sometime.
Oh, get out of here. You've read it 1,000. Tony, would you just stand back here a minute?
That's right.
Because I want you to know, people wrote this week and said, how do you know Patrick? Is Patrick in your family? Is he your friend or what? Well, we're not really all sure about this. It gets complicated, but it's nepotism at its best. But this is Tony, and she has a wonderful daughter, Leslie. Leslie is married to Patrick. Patrick is originally from Auburn, Alabama, and they met at the speakers convention. Now, we have a lot of professional speakers who watch this show or come every week. Therefore, I'm going to remind you that years ago, I wrote this book called Keep 'Em Laughing. Don't think I'm trying to sell it. We have tried to buy them all back. We want them off the market. But I wrote it with 4 speakers, and we were called the Platform Professionals. And a lot of you in speaking and a lot of people around the South and, well, the whole nation will remember this man right here. Watch my hand get big, big, big. See this smiling face right there? That's a guy named Robert Henry. And he and I were partners with these other 2. The 4 of us wrote the books. And what we did was, for years, if I spoke somewhere and I did a good job and the client said to me, Jeannie, who going to get next year? I'd say, oh, I have 3 friends here that you can call. And we didn't ever pay anybody a commission. We just recommended each other. And that's Robert. This is a picture on the front of that book. And way down here with the dark hair, can you zoom in? And I put American flag in my office and I can't get it off the picture. See the dark hair? You might recognize the smile. It doesn't. That's Jeannie. And then that was Doc Blakely. No, Joe Griffith and Doc Blakely. And that was Robert Henry. So Robert Henry has passed away. Look at that face. He could just make a face and an audience of 1,000 people would just roll. He was that funny. And today, because her grandchildren, co-grandchildren, now if you can figure this out, Tony's grandchildren are the same grandchildren that this lady's have. And this is because Robert Henry's widow, come on up here, Marilyn, and Patrick Henry's mama are here. They're for here. And speakers, you'll know, she was at every convention for years because Robert was president of the National Speakers Association, convention chairman, Cavett winner, every award they give out in speaking. So I just asked you, and you've been dressed up over there waiting to come on, and I appreciate it. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, she lives there in Auburn, and you're a painter.
Yeah.
When Robert died, you decided you could paint. I thought that was interesting. And then you painted me this picture just all of a sudden of an Auburn tiger. This is a copy, isn't it a copy?
No, it's a real painting. I just look at something to copy it.
Okay, that works for me.
It's better than having a tiger in her living room.
I know it. The tiger wouldn't sit still for all that time, so she painted. But you've painted pictures of the children. You do portraits. You do all that, and just goes to show you how you go on. Because we all hated it when Robert, Patrick's daddy, we were all so sad.
Well, he encouraged me to paint, and I just didn't have time when my kids were growing up.
I
Because they were
that.
always doing something.
Oh,
So Marilyn can be on.
Oh,
can you be heard, Marilyn?
I think so.
So we just had this wired up for me. Can you
But-
speak back to that? I'll hold it for you.
Okay, I want to say hello to my art friends
Okay.
and my Baptist posse friends from Auburn, Alabama. They're gonna kill me.
Okay, hold it. I'm a Methodist. I don't understand. You called your Baptist friends your Baptist posse friends?
Well, we kind of refer to ourselves as a posse.
Well, a Methodist would say that in order to get these people inside the Baptist church, you have to capture them and drag them inside. I'm not sure which it is. But so the big circle, we had 2 or 3 people this week that said, I just started listening and I don't understand who Patrick Henry is. Are you kin to Patrick Henry? Or are you not kin to Patrick Henry? Am I kin to Patrick Henry?
I don't know. Do
2
you?
more
Am I?
Sunday dinners and you're in.
2 more Sunday dinners and I get to go. But I just wanted you to say hello and them to know how deep this all goes for
Oh,
us.
We
And-
love Jeannie and
Well, you didn't have
always
to say
have
that,
loved
but
but
and we're having a good time here, and you haven't been able to come up here because of the virus. You were very
They were-
smart. You remember 2 weeks ago when they all went to the beach with all the children? You pulled out of that trip.
Yes, I did.
I went.
But they didn't get sick.
No, it wasn't getting sick. It was a house full of children for a week. You can't fool this grandmother. You said, I'll just come up to Burlington in a couple of weeks. So, and they're in the grandmother watching that didn't know how many children were in the house. So thanks, Marilyn. We just wanted to say, hey, a lot of speakers watching want to know that you're doing okay. Thanks, Tony. Very good. Now put this back on me. I hope y'all didn't consider that. I thought that was valuable time. I'm going to put this right here. You never know who's going to drop in. This back to your questions. Joe Hunt. Love your humor back on the back porch. I have asked questions, but haven't been fortunate enough to get one drawn. I will ask a couple more. Have you ever had long hair? I have a style very similar to yours, on and on. I had whatever I thought was the style at the time. Remember when I was Miss North Carolina, we backcombed our hair. You pulled it up here as high as you could and you combed it backwards and then you smoothed it over. I was 6 feet 2 inches tall. I wore heels, usually 2-inch or maybe 3-inch heels, which made me 6'5". And then I backcombed my hair and adding another, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches on there. You could put small golf pencils in there and keep them in the hair. It never came out. And then on top of that, I put the 4-inch Miss North Carolina crown. And I would go play all around the state of North Carolina. I spent the year just at 611 terrorizing senior adults and small children. But I will bring a picture. Remind me, Tony, I had an afro one time that made my hair. I just put the tightest permanents I could put in it and then just got it frizzy out almost past my shoulders. And I have publicity pictures of that hairdo. So right now, at age almost 77, I like short hair. I like to get up, wash it, do it around with my hands, and take it, that curling iron, and make one curl right here and then mess it up. And so long hair right now on some older women, I think it looks just great. But on me, it just seems to drag me down. So I appreciate the offer for my hair, but I have had long hair. I know that. Here is a question from Diana Green. Oh.
I didn't know so many people were here today.
No. No. Why?
Hey, Marilyn.
It's Norma Rose. I didn't know
coming,
what
but
it now.
I just couldn't help myself.
I know it. I know it.
Couldn't help myself today.
What? Why are you here?
Well, I've been in my closet during this pandemic, and I have one thing on my mind. Hello.
Over here.
Genius Facebook.
We got these questions we're going to have to answer too. So you go
Well,
right
I was
ahead.
going to offer to help you with your answers.
Okay.
today.
No. You're going to come in 2 weeks. You're supposed to come. What are you?
Well, I
People
went
are not going to believe that you go to the grocery store like
Well, I'm
this.
not going to the grocery store today. No, I've already been this week. But I went in my closet during the pandemic, and I found my St. John buttons.
I'll be
I
darned.
found my $20 TJ Maxx. The only problem is it has shrunk.
Oh, that'll do that.
It has shrunk.
The
So-
pandemic
The
caused our
pandemic
clothes to
caused
shrink.
So I went to my alteration guy, and he said that would be $130. And I said, I cannot wait to get home. So I ran home.
What
got
was
the
he
sewing
going
machine.
to do, Norma Rose?
He was going to put in some gussets like my mama, right here, these gussets, pieces. And so I went home, and 3 hours later, I have enlarged this. And I have, I don't even know how to do this, but I have saved the fabric. So in the next 20 years, if I need some more space, you just rip it out and put some bigger thing in there. But,
So you got 2 gussets in, and now you can wear this jacket again.
oh, I didn't even button it up. It's just a big piece down there.
I see it.
Yeah, but yeah,
What
I can.
did you charge yourself to make that?
Not much.
What would you
And I-
charge me to make some for my clothes?
I don't think I would meet your standards,
No.
but I got on a roll and I did about 10 other things because they were too, they had shrunk. But then my hat here, when I went to my doctor the other week about my Mohs treatment, I said, do you have any tips for me? He said, yes. He said, you need to wear a bonnet because of your fair skin. I said, I got plenty of bonnets because I had a few years back. I went home, I found them, and they had not shrunk.
I know your head is the same size.
Yeah,
Put
they
it down,
still.
Norma Rose.
I didn't have to put a gusset in. I'm sorry, people. I don't know how. Look, this is it came from Walmart. Excuse me, wherever. But I don't know if this is
Norma
wrong.
Rose, you do know how to save money. I want to tell them something because everybody that's listening in has a lot of things. Let me have it back, Norma Rose.
Okay.
Why we had this? I thought we just want to make sure. A lot of people going through a lot of bad times. Norma, would you say you've been through a few bad times
That's
lately?
how I got into the hats. I lost my hair.
I know.
Oh, go take my story. But
I know it. But, and I want them to see you sitting here, see your upbeat personality, and to hear your Southern accent, because I can do it too,
You
And
learn it.
I know. I learned it. But now will you tell them how old you are?
Well, I didn't know you. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to have some questions. And you
Okay,
go out
you
there.
go ahead and answer.
Okay.
Would you rather not?
No, I don't mind telling because you can't do anything about it. And this happened a few weeks ago. And, we went to Savannah. And I was thinking the whole way down there, this is tough. But then something just came up in my head. And it said, I said to Jeanne first, And I said, all my young friends are jealous of me because I beat them to old age. And with that, we went in all the stores and I told them, and that lady gave me even a white lace dress. But I was 80 years old. But don't anybody tell it. Don't tell it.
She's
Do
80
not
years
tell
old.
it, please.
She still does yoga. She does Pilates.
And I walk and I cook and anyway. It's
And
just,
you come back and you beat it.
well, you just get up every day. So don't let the numbers scare you, people. Do not let them.
Do not.
But
And see, the statistics show me that a lot of the people who follow me are, give me back to me.
excuse me.
Patrick, you've been working on all this mixer and all these openings. We need a better microphone. We got to get something better. But I just appreciate you coming by. Jane will be here week after next. And I'm going to put on black pants and a black sweater. And y'all are going to bring out trays of just stuff we've bought, except for one, in flea markets. And she's going to decorate me 3 or 4 different times.
I think I'm going to wear my white lace dress.
That the lady gave you.
The lady gave me.
I'm sitting over there buying stuff, and Norma Rose has talked the woman in the store to giving her a white lace dress. I know
She gave me a Carlisle scarf and a white lace dress. I'll be wearing it.
it was a consignment shop.
But if you want me to help you answering your questions today, I'll be glad to stay on.
No, no. I think I can do the can, but will you come back in 2 weeks when Jane is here and help decorate me?
I will try.
Oh, you're going to be busy?
The door was locked. That was a signal that I wasn't supposed to come. But I had
Patrick, did you lock the front door? I saw you get up and walk out a while ago. Were you locking Norma Rose
It was
out?
locked, but I had the key.
You had a
Hey,
key.
I had a
I was
key.
talking to the Nashville people.
Oh, okay.
So I just unlocked the door. And excuse me, but y'all have a grand time. And I'm going home and have a tea. I'm going to have a cup of tea. And y'all just have a great time. Thank you.
You look great. And show him the gusset. Turn it. I can't.
I hate to show you. This wouldn't. I took home economics and my mother taught me how to do this. And but I just put down the strip right here. I hate to show you, but anyway, it fit. I could even button it up now. Excuse me.
Looks good.
It was
Norma,
only
that's
20 some.
great.
It was only 20-some years ago. One more thing about the buttons. The first time I wore this, the people, I was so excited. I stitched these up. This lady comes up and said, "You got them upside down."
Oh, I remember that. We've had somebody on Facebook say, "I know how to read a button. Tell her to look at the button before she
Well,
puts
I never
it up."
have had time. to do
Norma,
that.
thank you for
Well,
dropping
I
by.
gotta find my stuff. Bye. Y'all
What'd
have
you bring
fun.
in here?
I got it on the table in there. I know where my stuff is.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay. Norma, thank you very much. Now, while she leaves, I'm going to tell all of us. Bye, Norma Rose.
I wish I hadn't answered that question. Could you edit this?
I can edit it. Yeah, I'm going to make you 79. Go on. Bye. She's been through as much as anybody watching this, I'll guarantee you. And we were all scared to death. And look at what a good attitude. And I think it comes from having a sense of humor. Don't you agree with me over there? You agree with me, Patrick?
Yes.
But I'm sorry if I messed up the microphone. And I bet the Nashville people called and said, get the sound right, didn't they? Mm-hmm.
It was the Nashville person that called.
The Nashville person that called. All right, more questions right here from y'all now. I just wanted y'all to, when you know what somebody's going through, and we kept it all quiet while she was going through everything, you put it together. Chemo, radiation, all of it. First thing she did was go out and start, the day after she found out about her problem, she went out and started buying wigs. And I like the wigs. Don't you think the wigs look good on them? So I would leave it that way. All right. Diane Geese. We always give our little girls in the South 2 names in case they want to be in a pageant. That is my quote. Have you ever told us your middle name? If so, I missed it. My middle name is Flynn, Jeannie Flynn. And we still have, don't we, Tony, people that call and say, is this Jeannie Flynn Swanner's address? Have I got the right? The Flynn is spelled F-L-I-N-N. There were 11 brothers and sisters. They lived around Luverne, Alabama, where my daddy grew up. And everybody misspelled the name and kept putting Y in it. And they said that it was just very confusing. So they had a meeting
of all 11 brothers and sisters. I would have loved to have been a fly on that wall because some of the brothers and sisters said we should change our name to FLYNN and people would be able to, it wouldn't be so confusing because it should be Y, not I. Well, my grandmother was one of the 5 or 6 who said, we're not changing the name. It's not confusing us. It's FLINN, and that's what it's going to stay. So mother and daddy named me Jeannie Flynn Swanner. Now you talk about confusion. Now we had the children of 11 people in the same town, in the same classrooms that didn't spell their names the same way. I believe it added to the, you gotta love it. Wouldn't you love to have been on a fly on the wall in that meeting? I think we're going to change the family name. Elizabeth Fisher. I've turned so many people on to you. Everyone I know, you have your bestest friend in Norma Rose, who is Left Brain's bestest friend. And did you like his bestest friend's wife? Well, that's real easy because Left Brain's bestest friend is Alan White, Norma Rose's husband. They played badminton in the senior games together, and we would all go to the senior games every other year. They played golf together. They liked sports, and both men, Dr. Alan White was athletic director at Elon University for 33 years and was a class act all the way around, president of NAIA, and Left Brain and Alan White, both quiet men. I don't understand when the 4 of us were in a car going somewhere, why they didn't get to speak much. Norma and I in the back seat carrying on. Okay, Janice Strickland says, carry on, old gal. Is she talking about me?
She ain't talking about me.
She's talking about you. I guess if this came in before today, carry on, old gal. That could be a new promo. Thank you, Janice. I get your sentiment, and that's fine with me. You didn't hurt my feelings at all. All right, the next one. Should we give a prize? Let's stop and give some prizes. Okay, these names in here are not eligible yet because they're not in the big bucket, but these people way down here are. So we'll call from this one. What is this one in my lap? Okay, have you ever had long hair? All right, I'm going down here, and this is for a copy of my book. Okay, and the name is, it doesn't have to be, Hope Smith. She says, nothing, not really a question, but she got her name in here. Hope Smith is going to get a copy of Don't Bungee Jump Naked. And I guess since you want to send that out to her this week, she gets one of the few ones we have left with the errors in it. But you got to contact Tony and give her your snail mail address. And that's the way she'll get it. Hope Smith, I'm going to put that over here now. I'm going to give away an email. Tony at Jeanne Robertson. And it's Tony. Jeannie without an I, Tony with an I, because they always write Tony, and that's okay. Neoma Wisdom, Neoma Wisdom, and I think I answered this question last week, and her name went in the box. What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you on the stage? No, that was in the pop-up. She's near the top. That's too near the top. I'll have to Neoma Wisdom. We're going to give away your choice of one of the DVDs. Is that fair enough? Right here. And this goes to Anna Leota Alsabrook. Okay.
Give me that name, please.
I got it. Anna, Liotta, Alsabrook, Alabrook. And this person is asking, well, it's sort of a political question. Do you watch the news? If so, how do you keep from it draining your joy? Okay, we won't get into politics, but she wins the thing. Yes.
Spell her last name one more time.
Alsabrook, Alsabrok.
Okay, and tell the people who won books if they've already bought books and they would rather have a DVD.
Good point.
They just have to tell.
Okay, so she just won a DVD, but if you won a book and you've already bought a book, good. Thank you, Tony.
Where'd they email?
Tony at JeanneRobertson.com. The Jeannie doesn't have an I. Okay, more questions for more people. All right, here we go. This question is Alethea Ackroyd. I love the new intro, Patrick. It was worth the time. And I'll tell them more about that.
Is that a prize one?
No, this is questions out of the bucket.
Okay.
We're going to give more prizes away in a little while. See, Pat, we have a good time here, Marilyn. Just give away prizes. Melinda Powers, what is the strangest question you've been asked? Well, in my theater shows, I just love this section, and I do it all the time. I call for 3 questions toward the end, but not the last thing that I do, because I want to make sure to end the show on a high, and I'm not sure what these questions are going to be. I don't plant any questions in the audience, but I'll just call for 3 questions, and they'll raise their hands. The first question, not many hands go up, but then they get the feeling. If I can't get the audience to laugh with my question, with my answer, the person who asked the question can go by the merch table and talk to the merch director who is on site that time and just pick up and have one of the items. So I get some unusual questions. Some people play it straight. They ask a question that might be of interest about your career or this, or they'll say, what was your talent in the pageant, this kind of thing. But some people just want to stump me, and it's the battle of wits. And I love to say, just go get your product. I can't answer that. When they ask things like, how many pebbles are in your gravel driveway? But, after that night, I said, just go get the product. I can't answer it. What I should have said, there are 18,643, because they wouldn't have known the difference, right? But those questions are great. So now people come to the theater show saying, are you going to ask for questions? I'm ready. It's all fun. And I like it because they win sometime. And it's just, the questions are strange. Some of them have to be X-rated quickly, and we have to take them down. And of course, we say nothing political, nothing controversial. Sue Freeman Potter. Hello, Jeannie from Oregon. Okay, hello, Sue. Now, why did that make it into the question bucket? It could be because, well, y'all having a hard time out there in Portland and all that kind of stuff right now. The country's thinking about you. My sister, Andrea, she was 12 years younger. Somebody has already written me, and I don't know if that question would come up, but somebody that got the book commented on the story I wrote about her. She passed away early, and I really appreciate that. And her friends call us every year too. But she lived in Portland, Oregon, and I would go out there and go to the Powell bookstore and sit all day and read humor books. And then she would come pick me up. She finished first in her class at Lewis and Clark School for the Law. So, hello, that's why I probably said, no, I want to talk about Oregon. That's it. Remember what the question asked Beaver? They said, have you ever been to Oregon? Because it's Oregon State. He said, nobody had, no, Beaver. And he said, nobody does have T-shirts. Because when you name Beaver, you just sort of pull for that school, I guess. Okay, Judy I.E. Dansby. Okay. How do you decide? This is interesting, Patrick. You're a speaker. How do you decide when to take a story out of your presentation? 2 or 3 things quickly. You don't just get up. You get up always with exactly the stories you're going to tell on stage that night. If you're playing well, then if something happens and you ad-lib, you can just take a story out, throw a story in, but you do go with it planned. Now, because most of my work are theater shows, I've almost gotten to, I do this group of material the first time I go, second time, third time, fourth time. For example, the baton story that I've been telling since the early 70s is one of my favorite stories, but it's a long story. I probably don't tell it now until about the 4th time I go back to a city, and I will do that. But you're always trying to work new stories in. When we have something in mind that we're going to do this fall as soon as the COVID is over, and you want to tell new stories, those stories have to be worked into spots. And I think I've told y'all this before. I have a spot in every show where I put a new story, and then I follow it up with a sure-fired winner. So you're always wanting your material to turn over. A quick example, in the 60s, I told stories about being in the Miss America pageant, a hook shot shooter in the Miss America pageant. In the 70s, I told about MC and pageants. In the 80s, I was telling junior high stories about our son and traveling because I was traveling more. And in the 90s, I said one night in a show or a speech, my husband Jerry, and then I stopped it. I said, well, really, I call him LB for left brain, and the audience reacted with so much gusto that I just couldn't wait to get off. At that time, I didn't have a computer, and get to my tablet and start writing material. So your material turns over. I could do a whole hour and a half, believe me, on pageants, but I found that an hour and a half theater show can maybe take one story from pageants, but I need to be current with who I am. So I take stories out. And let me just tell you quickly, I got to the point that I told the baton story so often, it took up 17 minutes, that I taped it for Kentucky television in 1997 and announced to people like Tony, I'm not telling this story for a year. I've got to work these new things in. And I went 5 years before I told it again. Now, of course, I love to tell it when I've gone back somewhere 3 or 4 times. Your hand is up.
Quick, from the comments, please say hi to a 9-year-old fan named Griffin.
Okay, a 9-year-old fan?
Yes.
Named Griffin. Hey, Griffin, and you can listen to any material that I tell, and you will be safe. And I want you to notice, you don't have to have bad words, Griffin. You can just tell the story if it's funny. So I know you hear a lot of people who do, and that's their business. But my business is you don't have to at age 9, and you can just keep giving people a smile when you get those masks off, and you watch every time. They'll smile back. It's wonderful. Thank you, Griffin. Where's Griffin from?
I don't know.
Well, there'll be a lot of Griffins out there that say, hey, I'm older than that. I don't think you've answered this. If you did, I apologize. Did you use, okay, Tony, this is us. Did you use the facilities, meaning the shower, behind the sleep in the tube story in Hawaii? Could you stand up in there? Did you have to share with the tube that was above or below you? No. Tony was in the next tube and I was in this tube.
We all had our own.
Everybody had our own personal tube.
It was an ensuite.
An ensuite. We had our own shower. You had to push, if you were sleeping in the bed this way and your feet down there, the tube, we call it, it's like getting an MRI. You had to push, the wall would collapse and you would pull yourself through. And had a little sink in there, and it had a shower and a little toilet. And that was part of your mini. It was called the Honolulu Airport's Mini Suites Nap and Shower. Now, those are now closed. For terrorists, did I say tourist? For terrorist reasons, after 9, it's a Southern terrorist, no. They had to, the mini suites, Honolulu Airport's Mini Suites Nap and Shower were under the Honolulu Airport. So we don't need people down there locked up in a tube for 8 hours fiddling around with things. So those are now closed. And actually, I really kidded Left Brain about that, paying $35 instead of getting us a hotel room and all of that. But in truth, it's not a bad idea if you have to check out of your hotel and you've been there a few days and you have 9 hours before your plane leaves that night to come back this way. So I have been stood corrected by Left Brain on that many times. Stand corrected now. Hi, Jeannie. This is Kate Donlin Cahill. Oh, we know how wonderfully humorous you are. Can you believe this, Marilyn? I appreciate that. Do you also sing? Kate Donlin Cahill. People pay me not to sing. It's very simple. I sang for my talent in the Miss America pageant, and the newspaper people wrote it up as comedy. And I was singing the best I could the whole time. It was irritating to me, but that's okay. All right, next question. Y'all keep me up until when it's time to give more. Barbara Steinbauer. Enjoyed you on Neil Steele this morning. This had to come in. I'm on Neil Steele and a radio show and he's been having me on for an hour now for about 6 weeks. He too called in March and said I'd been on his show for, I guess 11 years off and on, but he called and said, well, what you doing? I said, nothing. As you know, all the theater shows are postponed. Conventions are, You got wiped out your schedule this year, didn't you, Patrick, with conventions? But they'll book you for next year. You'll be back. So
It's okay. I like my job now.
you like this job now on Saturday mornings. You're a good sport. Are you in my family or not? So this hilarious guy up in Gloucester, Virginia, but his radio show streams so you can listen anywhere. And I don't know why. It just winds up being, if I do say so myself, the bickering and what we do winds up to be really funny. And every Thursday night, I wasn't on 4th of July weekend, but every Thursday before I'm on Friday night, I post right on Facebook the link that you just click and you go to and you can hear the whole show. He's a riot. Everybody thinks he's funny. You getting your guitar?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. I said I don't get into politics, and I don't, but I do want to make a statement. Overall, we support the police. I don't have anybody in my family that is, but I asked Patrick, would you come and sing this song called Officer Louise? I just think this is a funny poke at them. So, and a funny poke at you too.
That's right.
So you want me to leave?
Now I want you to give me that microphone.
Give you the microphone would be a good idea. Don't put it too near your guitar. Your mother said the guitar gets too loud.
Okay, well, I'll try to do my
See
best.
how southern I am, the guitar,
I know.
the ukulele.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate those of you who told me we had a bit of an echo at the beginning, and we fixed that. And so this is a song I wrote when I lived in Nashville. I was watching an episode of Cops, the reality show, and it was based in Nashville, and there was a beautiful female police officer in that episode. And I remember thinking I would love to meet her. And so I wrote this song, and I drove around real fast hoping she would pull me over. She never did. Going 90 miles an hour in a 55 zone. I didn't see it coming. I thought I was alone. Blue light started flashing. I did not know what to do. Then I watched the scene unfold before my eyes, and my review pulled me over to the curb. She got out of the car, 6-shooter on her hip. On her chest she wore a star. Long blonde hair stretched in a ponytail. I thought this was a cop. I wouldn't mind escorting me to jail. Officer Louise, I'm as guilty as can be. Won't even try to plead. Come on, let's go downtown. Better handcuff yourself to me so I don't get out. Cuff me, stuff me, throw away the key. She walked over to my window. I was sitting there a-wishing, even did her the favor of assuming the position. Anticipation written all over my face. She looked at me and said, "Sir, you are a disgrace, but this is your first offense. I'll issue you a warning. Officer, can't we talk about it in the morning? I was hoping for a different verdict, better than this. I can be a little dangerous. I think you better frisk." Officer Louise, I'm as guilty as can be. Won't even try to plead. Come on, let's go downtown. Better handcuff yourself to me so I don't run out. Cuff me, stuff me, throw away the cuff me, stuff me, get a little rough with me. Cuff me, stuff me, throw away the key. Thank you.
Good. You told me you rode around with a CD of that in
A cassette.
a cassette. Oh, a cassette of that in your car, hoping to get pulled over. You were going to try to get out. Marilyn, you're here. Are there any songs he's ever written that you don't approve of?
They have to pass the Bible study test.
The Bible Posse group. Is that the Baptist Posse?
My posse.
Well, you know, Debbie Childers was on last week, and her husband's a Baptist minister, and she's a humorous speaker. And she even wrote in yesterday and said, "I love that red sweater. Red looks good on you." I had on orange. She's an Alabama fan. So I said, and Charles Barkley hadn't called me this week either. She's supposed to know him. He's from Leeds, Alabama. But I forgot even what I was talking about.
Songs that I've written.
Yeah,
this year.
but you don't, there's some that you, not many. Yeah, good.
Very talented.
He's very spoken like a true mama. He's very talented. Okay. Here we go. Christine Zeller, Zeiller. You have such a smooth transition when you're on stage. Has your mind ever been tired or thinking elsewhere and totally forgot what you wanted to say? I couldn't remember right now what I was talking to Marilyn about 1 minute ago. I get confused am I the only person 70, almost 77? Am I? No way. Am I the only one that sometimes gets confused on things? I'll stop. But I have something I do on stage. Should I tell you? I guess I will. That's what this show's all about. If I go blank on stage, I'll stop and then I will say, and so far I've always remembered, I'll say, let me tell y'all something. If I pause for 6 or 7 seconds, I'm ready to tell a really good punchline. If I pause for 17 or 18 seconds, somebody in the audience tell me, what was I talking about? It's worked every time. So good question. One of our little secrets. It's like that time you had written a brand new song and you wore sunglasses. And I said, what are you doing with sunglasses? And you said, I got the words down here. I've just written the song. That was the one about the quarantine. Okay. All right. Well, Cheryl Reeves Bendenbaugh, how long have you been on the Neil Steele radio show on Friday? The hour goes by fast. I've been on it for 11 years, but I've been on since the COVID, because when he had called and said, will you be on once a week? I said, let me think about it. And he said, you're not doing anything else, Jeannie. And he was right. Okay, keep me on my time because I want to give away some more. All right, Cheryl Smiley. Is there a chance that you can republish some of your out of publication books? I've read about them, and blah, blah, blah. No. We're not going to do that. Didn't know what I was doing. I'm proud of this new book, and a couple of them are out on different things. One is for speakers, and the one I wrote with Robert and his crew, all of us. That's a very. My Sunday school teacher uses it. The Sunday school teacher still uses that book. Good, but those books are out of print. They're all gone. We don't have any anymore, do we, Marilyn? I don't. Do you have any? Oh, you have a few. Okay, let's give away some more of my new books then. And I'm going to dump the people who didn't get your questions asked this week. I'm going to put them, well, I'll just draw from that small number. How about that? That's it. And then we'll draw from, this is one of my books. And the winner is Terry Martin. Terri. Jeannie, what is your favorite Bible verse? Terry Martin, Mountain Home, North Carolina. Well, this is interesting. John 3:16. God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, and whosoever believeth him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Thank you, Terry. How about that? We've gone religious here today. The Baptist posse will agree. I know it. The Baptist posse will be glad that I came up with my favorite one, and it wasn't Jesus wept. That's just 2 words. You don't have to remember much.
Jeannie wept.
Jeannie, no. Janine Wood, you have won a prize. What advice would you give to an 18-year-old about life? That's easy. Got to keep a sense of humor. I know I'm beating the horse one time, it sounds like, or the trombone or the drum. I'm getting in trouble for saying beat the horse. But whatever it is, if you can see the humor in it, like we discussed with Norma Rose early on, and that is looking for humor will not solve the problem. It won't solve it. And the people who have had the worst brunt of the COVID, they're in our thoughts and prayers. We don't make fun of that here. But if you can find the humor in it, it helps you get through it. And every 18-year-old ought to be taught that. Out of these 4,000 that are down here in this bucket.
Janine Wood.
Janine Wood.
Jeanine, I don't know how to spell it.
How do we put this on every week? Oh, Jeanine Wood, my friend Jeanine, Jeannine Wood. She gets a book, Jeannine. She got a book. And the last one that asked the question, I pulled it out of here. Now I'll have to find that one. So I'll watch the tape. You can watch all the tapes of all these. Did y'all know that? You can watch all of that. So I'm going to just get, this is for another book out of here. This is the big sack. So you could have written last week or another week and it would be here. And this is Molly Stevens. I miss seeing you in Lakeland at the Mother's Day luncheon. Well, I was just there last year, Molly. I will come back another time when they invite me. And
Spell, please.
Molly, MOLLIESTEPHENS. Yeah, they have at the university there, they have a huge, big thing every Mother's Day. I mean, huge. Laura Bush had been there the year before.
Tell them about the switch to a DVD if they've already bought the book.
If you've already got the book,
I know Molly has already got it.
you know that name? Did I sign it? I sign every one for me. Okay. Well, folks.
You mentioned before you go that if they want to see the full
Oh, yes.
Harold Payne.
Okay. Harold Payne's song, by the way, and I had some notes. I watched it right before when Patrick said we're going to open up with, Jeanne Robertson's song. It's 2 minutes and 51 seconds. It's on YouTube, but it's on by typing in Jeanne Robertson for all her bestest friends, Harold Payne. Harold Payne is an Emmy Award winner, and what he does for speakers, Patrick was chairman of the convention in 2012, the National Speakers Association. I was a keynoter. You didn't ask me to be, but the president did. So you said if you asked me, it would look like nepotism, and so you used it. But I opened the convention. And when every person on the center stage at the convention finished, Harold Payne walked out immediately and sang a song about them. He didn't talk to me before the convention. He didn't talk to anybody before the convention. He sits over there, and as you speak for an hour, he's writing a song, walks out and sings it. So we asked him if we could use that song and put it to pictures. And when you watch it, if you'll just type in Jeanne Robertson, no I, and then just put for all, and that's all you have to put, is all her bestest friends, but it picks it up. But if you look in there, 11 people from, I just figured this out this morning, 11 people that I tell stories about are photographed over and over and over again. If it goes really fast, from Jane Tucker, Tony, Left Brain all over, pictures everywhere. He's so sweet. We love him. And on and on and on. Norma, it just is fascinating. And Tony, you're in there. But that was just nice. Tony, maybe one day we could play his whole 2 minute and 51 second song. Give a prize for who finds the most.
We'll do it next week.
Well, we thought we were going to do that pound cake story thing this week. And then we're going to get on that. All of you, we just enjoy doing this. And if it brings a smile to your face, we apologize for all the errors. That's just the way we're doing it. But we got fancy equipment now. If we get this all straight and people coming in, mainly, remember that if we don't keep a sense of humor, it is nobody's fault but our own. Thanks. Bye-bye.
She's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.
Wow, Patrick, I'm glad you thought that song. I like that, putting that in there. Marilyn, thank you for coming and seeing what your little boy's doing every Saturday, being on the show. And it's good to look back at Robert. And Norma Rose is going to come by if she wants to. And the outfit she did looked great. You okay, Tony? Yeah. You got all those names? Yeah.